hundreds of under-18 curling teams from Whitehorse to Windsor, St. John's to Victoria began the season with hopes of being here. 26 began this week at the Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships. 4 still have their eyes on gold. This is the championship draw of the 2018 Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships. The national anthem being sung in the background there will pause. You are looking live at the W.C. O'Neill Arena Complex in St. Andrews by the Sea, New Brunswick. As I mentioned, this is the championship draw of the 2018 Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships. And we have a full slate of medals to give out, 2 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze. Our principal focus this evening will be on the gold medal games, rather. On Sheet C, it's the boys' gold medal game. Team Alberta, skipped by Ryan Jacques from the Saville Community Sports Center in Edmonton, taking on Team Nova Scotia, Graham Weagle's foursome from the Chester Curling Club on the shores of Mahone Bay in Nova Scotia. We'll also keep our eye on Sheet D, the girls' gold medal final. Skylar Ackerman's foursome representing Saskatchewan from the Moose Jaw Ford Curling Club in Moose Jaw, taking on the Nova Scotia girls, Isabelle Ladouceur and her team from the Lakeshore Curling Club in Lower Sackville. Also on ice, we have the bronze medal games for both boys and girls. The boys' game is on Sheet B. Team Newfoundland and Labrador, Ryan McNeil Lambswood's rink from the Remax Center in St. John's Curling Club in St. John's, taking on Northern Ontario. The defending champion Jacob Horgan trying to return to the podium. His rink curls out of Curl Sudbury. And in the girls' bronze medal game on Sheet E, it's Team Alberta, Riley Barker out of the Calgary Curling Club against Team Ontario, Madeline Warner from the Listowel Curling Club in Listowel. The teams just going through their final warm-ups. Keith Rains, what do you think of this championship draw?
Well, we had a great semifinal, and Nova Scotia defeated Newfoundland 6-2.
On the boys' side.
On the boys' side, and Alberta defeated Northern Ontario 5-2 to get to this gold medal side. And on the girls, Nova Scotia, exciting game that we broadcast earlier, Sean, defeated Ontario 7-5, and Saskatchewan needed an extra end, and there was lots of rocks in play, and they survived as Alberta had the hammer but couldn't get at the Saskatchewan rock, and Saskatchewan wins 6-5 in extra ends to punch their ticket to tonight's gold medal.
Both our gold medal games are getting underway. We're going to keep our focus in the first end on Sheet C. And the boys' gold medal game, Alberta and Nova Scotia getting underway. Michael Henricks delivering the first stone of this gold medal game. a center guard. Alberta got here a fairly easy way. They did struggle a little in round robin. They went 3-2. That was good enough for a three-way tie for second that they finished bottom of. They then went through the championship pool. A modified double knockout, 2 wins to get to the semifinals, 2 losses puts you out of the competition. They scored wins over Northern Ontario and Newfoundland in championship round play before knocking off Northern Ontario again in the semifinals. Team Nova Scotia, Scott Weigel, a cool come-around draw.
Yeah, good bunch of sweeping there by the front end.
Michael Henricks, second stone for Team Alberta. Alberta and Nova Scotia did meet in round-robin play. Nova Scotia were the winners that one by a score of 4-2, but that was back in draw 4. That was all the way back on Tuesday.
That was weeks ago. It seemed like it, doesn't it?
A lifetime. A beautiful draw to the button.
And in Pool A, as Sean was saying, Manitoba finished pool play at 4-1. Nova Scotia was 3-2. Ontario was 3-2. Saskatchewan 2-3, and Northwest Territories 0-5. In B pool action, Northern Ontario 5-0, Newfoundland 4-1, Quebec 3-2, New Brunswick 2-3, BC 1-4, and Prince Edward Island was 0-5, and that was in round robin play.
Top 4 teams in each group qualified for the crossovers. Nova Scotia went 3-2, but they came out on top of the tiebreaker to finish officially second in Pool A. They rattled off championship round wins over Quebec and Manitoba to punch their ticket to the semifinals, where they defeated Newfoundland 6-2. 2 rocks in the button area already. Still early doors yet. Alberta, Gabriel Dick delivering his first stone of the gold medal game. This foursome from the Saville Community Sports Center in Edmonton, Alberta, a facility that has produced many great champions in recent years, perhaps most famously Kevin Martin.
Yeah, I was up at Kevin's when I was in Edmonton for a sports conference, and we went to the Saville Center, and Kevin was there showing us around that extremely beautiful facility because it's also the home of University of Alberta. That's where they play their basketball and volleyball games, as well as Basketball Alberta with that complex. Gymnastics are there. Tennis is there. Incredible center.
There's a reason we call it a sports center instead of a curling club.
Yeah, and he said to me, he said, Keith, I said, it's an incredible facility that you have. You have everything here. He said, well, the weather's not really great out here. So we got to go.
Edmonton.
We got to go indoors for a lot of things. So, but Kevin was a tremendous host, and we actually had a chance to play in the Saville Center as he has his pro shop and everything right adjacent to it.
It is Edmonton. It's the northernmost major city in North America. Team Alberta just replacing the peeled center guard there. And Jeffrey Meager getting the instruction just to peel it away. Nova Scotia trying to chip away at the front guards. That Alberta stone seems right on the pin, right on the button. I'll get the double peel out of it. They lose the Nova Scotia stone 2, just top of the house. Suter rolls off to the side. Alberta will try the guard again. This is Dustin McCush, mate for Team Alberta. Team has had a great path through to this final. We saw their game against Newfoundland here on the feature sheet yesterday. A well-earned 7-4 victory. A good hard sweep by the front end of Dick and Henricks. Tied to the house and protecting shot stone. A tough out for Owen Purcell.
Now, if you happen to be tuning in for the first time because you've got emails and phone calls that your friends or family or relatives are in the gold medal games, these are 8 end games. Okay, just to clarify that, we will have a break at the end of 4 ends. There will be 2 timeouts each team is allowed for this event. So let's just get a little up to date on what's happening on the ice. And we will be keeping up to date. Folks down in Nova Scotia, I know you want to see what's happening with the girls. And if there's other people listening in Saskatchewan and whatnot, we will keep you abreast. And if there's some exciting shots happening towards the end, we'll get our cameramen to make sure to go over there.
Indeed. The games are timed, by the way, 30 minutes of thinking time. Add in the 2 one-minute timeouts. Works out to a total of 4 minutes of time per end, per team. Trying to nestle in there, get some movement. They do move one of the Alberta Rocks. I think they're still shot stone. They were locked on the button there, Keith.
Yes. Yeah, they have a lot of rocks in play here in the first end. It's always interesting because these teams have played each other before, so they know a little each other, and depending on the strategy, they will right in and say, hey, you got to make some good shots here. This is gold. This is for the national championship.
Indeed, Duskin McCush, you see the signal from the sweepers. It's hot. The Rock's running quick. This won't be a guard. It's coming well in the house. How much are they going to hit? They're just going to dink their own guard away. Poor shot by Duskin McCush there. Opens things up for Nova Scotia. Alberta, by the way, has the hammer. They had the better last shot draw. Alberta curling the red stones this evening. Nova Scotia throwing yellow. The back end, Graham Weigel and Owen Purcell talking about what they want to try. It is Nova Scotia that is shot stone just on the button there. But they sense an opportunity to sit a bunch here if they can get that pesky Alberta stone out of the way. Quick mention of play over on sheet D. It's pretty open so far between Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia. Peel fest, really. They're on skip stones there as well. Graham Weigels first. Sweepers just starting to get on it now. They will pick it out, a little roll, and Nova Scotia is sitting 3.
That was Nate's last draw.
Thank you, Owen Purcell.
Well, we have a great crowd tonight on hand, Sean, for this Saturday night. It's a little early. The Leafs don't play to 9, so we had to do some juggling with our schedule not to affect, the Leafs are in the playoffs. Of course, I'm a Habs fan, folks, okay? My wife is a Leaf fan, so she has her hat. She's got the uniform, and I can just sit back and enjoy the hockey while she's going to be stressed out.
There's no cheering in the booth, but sometimes watching our relatives watch sports is more entertaining than the sports themselves. A big hit on the way from Team Alberta.
Get it.
McCush gets a bunch moving.
Yeah. Got one out and two other move.
One out. Another Nova Scotia stone out of the 4-foot. Nova Scotia still sitting one, but Alberta does have the hammer, and the two Nova Scotia stones that are in the rings are wide open. In the girls' game on Treat D, as expected, Nova Scotia and Saskatchewan blanked the first end. No score, getting the second underway. It is Saskatchewan with the hammer. Again, no score, playing two in the girls' gold medal game. Owen Purcell. Owen is the mate, but he throws the final stones for Team Nova Scotia. The brushing is off and on. Jeffrey Meager and Scott Weigel. Now on. They do want it to bend. And it will come down nicely. I still think I'll wait to see what the overhead looks like.
Don't want to put any money down, huh?
I still think it's Nova Scotia sitting just the one. But we will soon find out. Alberta, I don't think, wants to take any chance. Yes, it is Nova Scotia sitting the one. There is a double there. Outside chance of a triple for Team Alberta, as Ryan Jacques calmly slides down the ice, preparing for his first stone of the game. Team Alberta, 6 wins so far this week. A 7th will give them the right to call themselves national champions.
And this is a great event. This is only the second year we've had a U-18 national champion. It's always been a junior championship, U-21. And the curling community, obviously there was something missing because these players are mostly 15, 17 years old.
Big weight from Alberta. Oh, just hit the outside stone. Will that miss prove costly for Alberta?
Final shot. And so this is the second year, and what a tremendous event this is for these young athletes and curlers. We've had a great week, as Sean said, of curling here. A great competition throughout. A lot of really close games. But kudos to get all the associations on side and some financial support, obviously, to be able to host an event like this. And it can only bode well for curling in the future.
Final stone in end one. Nova Scotia actually won the draw to the button, regardless of what our scoreboard says. Just trying to tap their own back a few inches, maybe half a foot. The brushing is off and on. Do they have it? I think they do.
Nice shot. And boy, there's a big shot early in this gold medal game to get the weight like that. The sweepers barely had to touch it, just keep it clean. Really nice shot.
The tap by Owen Purcell gives Nova Scotia an early 2-0 lead, one end down in the championship draw. You're watching the 2018 Canadian Under-18 Curling Championship only on Bell Line TV 1. We have updates from the bronze medal games. In the boys' bronze medal game over on Sheet B, Newfoundland and Labrador and Northern Ontario blanked that first end, so no score through one end in the boys' bronze medal game. Also a blank end in the first in the girls' bronze medal game, Alberta and Ontario playing in that one. So all the action so far, all the scoring action, has been on sheet C. In the boys' gold medal game, Graham Weagle and his Nova Scotia foursome, a 2-0 lead on Team Alberta. Ryan Jacques.
Big sweeping again, getting that rock in there. Good work, boys.
Not just in the house, a good bite of the forefoot.
I'd like to thank our sponsors here for this week. Without our sponsors, we could not host an event of this magnitude. The town of St. Andrews, Kiwanis St. Andrews, Heather Curling Club of St. Andrews, the Bay of Fundy, Charlotte Coastal Region, the Algonquin Resort, just an outstanding job that staff does each and every day. The province of New Brunswick, Station on King, and Jet Ice, Huntsman Marine Science Center, Curling Canada, and friends of the event, Kruger and the Dunn Foundation. Thank you all.
And just as we get our ends starting to develop here, as we look at Team Nova Scotia's second stone from the hands of Scott Weagle, just a few words again about the way the town of St. Andrews, a town maybe of about 1,012, maybe 1,200 people, they've really rallied around this championship, Keith.
160 volunteers. Sue Lister, the event chair, of course, been running around crazy. And I know myself, hosting national events, like it's a year project to put something like this on at this magnitude, because there's so many boxes you got to check with accommodations, transportation, minor officials, and the list just goes on. And the facility looks awesome, and they must be very, very proud of what they have accomplished here this week for the town of St. Andrews and for curling in Canada.
Indeed. The Heather Curling Club have their ice right beside the main arena here at the W.C. O'Neill Arena Complex, a real community hub, all located in one cozy building. Curling club, theater, arena, conference hall, you name it, it's here.
And for you folks out in Alberta, is St. Andrews by the Sea here. We're about a 20-minute drive from the border of Maine, about an hour away up the coast from St. John, New Brunswick on the Bay of Fundy. And it was voted by U.S. Magazine as the top destination to come to in Canada. It was the first seaside resort in Canada back in the day, and it's just a lovely spot to come to. Beautiful inns, beautiful restaurants, hotels, and a fabulous golf course.
Absolutely. We just saw a beautiful raised takeout from Jeffrey Meager. Alberta still has that corner guard, and they're trying to use it with Gabriel Dick's second stone. First stone. Yes, first stone.
And the people are still rolling in. This is just awesome to see. And these kids deserve it, because they have played very well this week, and it's great to see the support coming out. Not only family and friends, but people in the community are coming. And it's nice to see a lot of young people are coming out to it.
They get the better part of the 8-foot well buried. Graham Weagle wasting no time, asking just to blast that guard away. And here it comes down the pipe. Hard sweep from Scott Weagle.
Keeping the line.
Boom, and roll to the opposite side. That'll go out of play itself.
Everything's wide open now, Sean.
Ryan Jacques declining to put the guard back up, instead trying for the double takeout. There is the risk of a jam here. We'll see how it turns out. Not a broom to it. They almost got it. They almost popped the second stone up the top.
The back way. Because I know he was trying to touch that top one and knock it off and get the other one, but it hit the second one in and backed up and almost knocked out the Alberta stone. Yeah.
So Alberta's still sitting one as Skip Graham Weagle goes back for his first stone. He does throw mate rocks on this team. Owen Purcell throwing the skip stones. You kind of dream of these shots, open hits in Canadian finals. Amazing, before you're out of high school, you get to live it.
Oh, I mean, what this does for these young athletes, and we talked about it in the previous games, but not only the physical, but the mental preference. For some of these teams, it's their third game, and there's been a lot of emotions, and coaches have got to control. I know they always talk to the players after each game, you know, what they did well, what they got to work on, but be able to keep that even keel. Don't let a bad shot ruin your end. A lot of golf analogies go into this, where you got to park it sometimes and move on.
Absolutely. If we can, we're going to take a quick look at the action on Sheet D, the girls' gold medal game. They're coming down to the final shots in the second end. Nova Scotia skip Isabelle Ladouceur from the Lakeshore Curling Club in Lower Sackville, trying to blast away a Saskatchewan Redstone on the back of the forefoot. Good sweep there by Michaela Harnish. Nose hit. Saskatchewan will try to blank this second end, carry the hammer over into 3. If you've seen a few of the Nova Scotia girls games this week, you will know that Team Nova Scotia likes to keep things pretty wide open. And that is very much in evidence in the championship final. Skylar Ackerman, skip for Team Saskatchewan, is back there for the final stone in the second end in the girls' gold medal game. Chantel Hogue, Samantha McLaren, ready with the brooms as necessary. There's a little sweep there.
They want to keep it and just roll out.
And they
beautiful
will.
Shot. Beautiful
Picture
shot.
perfect, a blank second end. Still no score between Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia. As we come back to Sheet C. Things still pretty open in this end. It looks like we're headed toward a blank end. Right now we're welcoming in the booth a special guest, Helen Radford, Director of High Performance with Curling Canada. She's, well, High Performance with Curling Canada. How's that, Helen?
Hi, Sean. Thanks for helping us out this week. You're doing a great job.
No worries. As we reach the climax, what do you make of these championships so far, the second annual?
Well, we've been incredibly impressed with the caliber of the athletes that have come here this week, and seeing how close the games have become. It is incredible to see. We've got some people here who are still in junior high, and some are in high school. So it's very, very impressive. There are a lot of great shots being made, and all 26 teams have had an amazing week here in the town of St. Andrews. The town has just absolutely embraced all of the teams here and the parents and friends and family, and it's become a real community event, and we can't say enough about how great it's been here this week.
Fantastic. Any memories that really stick out of the week so far? I can think of a couple.
Well, I think one of the fun things that we're seeing this week is in the mixed doubles, how fun it is on the, not sure if you can see much of the game over on Sheet A is the gold medal game. The mix of teams that are together and the coaches, they're having a great time. So it's nice to see, the teams either advance in one pool or are able to play in the mixed doubles.
I know they've tried that. They've done that for the last few years in the junior championships. What inspired Curling Canada to institute this kind of mixed doubles exhibition at the junior championships?
Well, we definitely want our younger players playing mixed doubles. It's an Olympic event, and I think, when we saw John Morris and Caitlin Laws do so well for Canada in Korea, it's hopefully given us a little bit of an extra boost across the country, and it's nice for the younger players to see they can go to the Olympics playing mixed doubles. So we want to show them all the disciplines that are available to them, and we think this is, we've got the best curlers in the country here, and so it's nice to see them working through that discipline together, and also, it's so great to see all the different teams that are in the playoff round here.
The best curlers from across the country, including this year, unlike last year, a girls team representing Yukon. We haven't yet seen in these championships a boys team from Yukon or anybody from Nunavut. Any word on whether that might change next season?
We're hoping to. In fact, Curling Canada, we ran a program this year where we sent a national coach up to the Yukon to do some development. We sent the same coach up to Northwest Territories to run a program, and then we sent another coach to Nunavut. So we are trying to help the development of youth curling, so that is definitely...
Sorry to interrupt you, Helen. Final stone here. A beautiful hit and roll to salvage 1 against 3. Alberta gets on the board with a single and 2. Nova Scotia with a 2-1 lead. Sorry about Helen. Continue, please.
Oh no, we were just saying that we have been we recognize that youth development is really important, and we want to support the different provinces and territories and help them with their programs.
And this is a big question, and I'll understand if you won't be able to answer it. Any idea where this championship will end up next year? It's been in New Brunswick these first 2 years, and they've done a great job with it, but I expect other parts of the country will want in too.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I do not know where the event will be next year, and once it's official, it will be announced. But I'm not sure where it will be. But I know that different places will be bidding on it, because it is a great event with a lot of teams and a lot of excitement, and for sure it will definitely run sometime in April next year.
Fantastic. Anything else you'd like to add?
Just how excited we are to be here. It's been a long time coming, having an under-18 event, and years ago the Optimist International U-18 started out west with a number of people who really championed that, and that's what this has continued from. So we've been really fortunate that this had already had a head start through the Optimist, and I know they'd be very proud to see the second year here and how well it's going.
Absolutely, and great support from supporters from all across the country. We've heard duck calls, moose calls, train whistles, cowbells, you name it. Great support from the provincial and regional associations. Helen Radford, thanks for joining us on the broadcast.
Well, thanks very much, Sean. We appreciate you jumping in at the last minute here. You've been awesome, and we all enjoy your passion and your enthusiasm, and thanks again so much to you and Keith.
Thanks. While we get the chance, the end's still developing here in Nova Scotia with a rock behind an Alberta guard in the house. Nova Scotia again playing the Yellowstones, Alberta the red. And this is Michael Henrik's second shot. Henrik's the Alberta lead.
Helen is a very busy lady tonight.
Absolutely.
So we thought we'd get her in the first few wins before she has to start her official with the medals and the presentations and whatnot. But it's great to have a chance to have Curling Canada in to speak of their great experience here this week. So
absolutely, and just talk about under-18 curling in general. We do have a couple of updates from the bronze medal games. The boys game on sheet B. Northern Ontario took a single point in the second end. They now have a 1-0 lead on Newfoundland and Labrador. And in the girls bronze medal game, a single point for Team Ontario. They lead Alberta by that same 1-0 score. And a good, just a little heavy on that last shot. Nova Scotia still sitting 1. Alberta, Gabriel Dick in the hack, delivering his first stone to the end. Trying the draw here. Get something perhaps on top of that shot stone. Sweepers off and on. Dustin McCush, Michael Henricks. They will nurdle that a bit. Pops the Nova Scotia stone out on the other side, but Nova Scotia still shot. And looking, I think, at a double takeout by Jeffrey Meager.
And if you're just tuning in, folks, Alberta defeated Northern Ontario 5-2 in the semis to get the gold medal game. And the Nova Scotia boys handled Newfoundland in an Atlantic semifinal. They defeated Newfoundland 6-2 to punch their ticket here tonight.
And they did get the double takeout. A wonderful shot by Jeffrey Meager, and the Blue Nosers are going wild.
And they truly are Blue Nosers because they have their noses painted blue tonight.
Alberta trying to get back in the house with Gabriel Dick's second shot, and this, it looks light from the get-go.
Sweepers are on it early.
A heavy sweep. It needs every ounce of power you can get, boys. Every ounce.
No.
Oh my, oh my.
We'll get it over the hog line.
Just. Don't know if you can see the look of disappointment on Gabriel
Now, has
Dick's
he
face
been down
there.
that side much this evening yet, or no?
I don't think. The game is still young. Emotions do run raw. We've seen a couple of losing teams today come off the ice dressed in tears. For some, it'll be their final game at this age level. For practically everyone, these are the last games of the season.
Well, and depends on their age group, right? I mean, they have, because it is under 18, and if you have, like you said, 15 to 17-year-olds, so there's some, but in some cases the team would be broke up maybe, and maybe they want to stick together and go at the U21 level, right?
This draw just a bit heavy from Team Nova Scotia. It'll settle in the back of the 12-foot. Nova Scotia sitting 4 at this point. Dustin McCush climbing into the hack now. They're talking about possibly running back Alberta's center guard into the shot stone. There is a line there. The question is whether Alberta will want to take it. And they're staying away from that now. They do appear to be going with the draw. Safe option at this point.
They need to get something in the house.
Dustin McCush's first shot. Staring at a bunch of yellow. Weight is better. Sweepers off and on. Dick and Henricks. This rock does need to curl. They might just have it.
Nice shot.
Very close indeed. Now there is a part of it just sticking out, but the way the Alberta guards are staggered, it's not easy to get to.
And Nova Scotia does have the hammer in this end.
After holding Alberta to that single.
And that is the ultimate goal when the other team has a hammer, isn't it, Sean?
Most of the time, yes. Sometimes you do need to score.
Well, no, what I'm saying is if team you're playing against, if you can hold them to 1 with the hammer, then kudos. don't let them get 3 or 4 on you. And really, we've seen that. I mean, it's been tight. We did the girls semi, and boy, it was just hard to get a point sometimes.
Graham Weagle looking at a hit through the port. Waits quiet. So are the sweepers.
He said the weight is good. They're looking at wanting to start the curl.
They're going around.
Now they get on it.
They might have it.
Got to push it back.
They
Lovely
got
shot.
it.
Lovely shot. Nice touch there.
They do lose the shooter. They do lose one of their own on the back nearly. Looks like Nova Scotia is sitting 2 for sure, maybe up to 4. But there's still plenty of end to be played.
At the conclusion of this evening's games, we will be having the medal presentations and the championship trophy given out, so stay tuned for that. As we will be following that with our crew. And
Duskin McCush, second stone for Alberta, just asking to follow it down against 2. And it is 2 Nova Scotia stones counting at the moment. Sweepers giving it clean. Dick with the harder sweep. They will just dink out one of the Nova Scotia stones.
And basically he's got the same shot again.
Same shot again. Alberta, I think, is sitting 1.
And there are some catchers in that back end there.
There are some catchers in the back. Nova Scotia's second and third shot. Graham Weagle throwing third stones for Nova Scotia. The team skip. His second shot. In the third. Graceful slide. Sweeper, Scott Weagle, Jeffrey Meager. Off and on, now
they're on it.
hard. Got to get it by the guard, boys. You're by. How deep can you get it?
Good shot.
A good tap and through the
Oh,
hole.
wow. Not a lot of room there. Put a piece of paper.
A tap through the hole.
Nice shot.
And it looks like Nova Scotia sitting 3 now. Speaking of Nova Scotian threes, the girls' final Nova Scotia and Saskatchewan had a blank third end. No score through 3, Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia. Also a blank end on sheet B, Northern Ontario, Newfoundland. Jacob Horgan's rink from Curl Sudbury, retaining a 1-0 lead on Ryan McNeil Lambswood, and the Newfoundland rink from the Remax Center in St. John's Curling Club. And the girls' bronze medal game remains 1-0 for Ontario through 3 ends. A blank third end leaves Alberta retaining the hammer. There was a timeout called on sheet C, the first of 2. It's Team Alberta calling the timeout. Their coach is Bernie Panich.
And when we get a chance, I know you still have the award winners from earlier today?
I do. We'll get to that after the 4th end on sheet C.
I'll just keep reminding myself to remind So I don't forget. When these nuggets come in my head sometimes, I got to say it because they're going to escape too. So I got to get it back.
No worries. If anybody here thinks we're working with the script,
we're not.
this is the original reality television.
I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. We're enjoying bringing it to you folks from wherever you're at. And I know Saturday night's hockey night. There's been some games going on, but we're in between.
Pshaw, they involve American teams.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Well, no, Toronto's playing tonight.
They aren't playing right now,
No,
though.
no, not to 9 o'clock. That's why we did the 6 o'clock thing. Sure. That's why we had it at 6. Yeah, no.
Ryan Jock standing into the hack. This is a Rays takeout. Trying to hit a center guard into the pile of Nova Scotia yellows. First skip Stone in end number 3. Hard sweeping by Dick. They're by the guard. And they hit it by everything.
Wow.
If there is a plus out of that shot, it does open up the front.
Yeah,
and it forces Nova Scotia to go for a guard here. But they're going to think about it first. They call their first 1-minute timeout. And Anthony Purcell, their coach, will come down and have a discussion.
Yeah, good time because these opportunities don't come up a lot. And you want to say, okay, is this the best option that we have? Is there something else we should look at? Where should we be putting that guard up at? And the key thing is with the curlers is, what is he going to go after?
Absolutely.
Right, so
they do call this chess on ice because, like chess, there's a degree of trying to anticipate your opponent's move.
And that's what I loved when I was broadcasting the Senior Nationals last year up in Fredericton. And we had some, Briar participants, former tankard champions in the booth. And just the knowledge that they have is not only what the rocks are going to do when you hit them, what it's going to leave the other team. And they're always thinking 2 and 3 shots ahead. And it's really amazing here just listening to them. And I had an opportunity to sit with, there was 2 of them one night.
Oh, yeah.
And that was Jeremy
Millay
and Wayne Blanchard. Wade, a former world senior champion, and Jeremy, a tanker champion. And folks, all I had to do was announce who was playing. They took it from there because it was just like a hot stove session. And
absolutely.
They're discussing strategy and what to do. It was great just to listen to them. And here we are getting into this, towards the end of this
third end
here. And there's some big shots to be played. This is Nova Scotia's first shot for the
fourth, Owen Purcell. They were talking, I think, about splitting the house. They're content to try to guard the pocket. That's the most vulnerable place for Nova Scotia at the moment, the pocket between those 2 stones around the 4-foot. A hard sweep from Jeffrey Meager. This will come deep into the house. It will come, that rock itself, right into the pocket.
Whoa.
And now things for Alberta getting very interesting. Speaking of interesting, when this end is over, we'll take you over, give you a look at sheet D, because there are some very interesting developments there, and we'll want you to see them, but not before we finish this third end here in the boys' gold medal game on sheet C. Alberta still thinking hard here. The Nova Scotia stones, as you may be able to see, are unprotected. The one in the back of that pack around the top of the 4-foot, that is behind a couple of corner guards. There is a pocket with the stone just delivered by Owen Purcell and the shot stone. You could try to blast something into that pile and see what pops out.
But this is their last shot of this end, and Nova Scotia has a hammer. So this is an important juncture of this gold medal game, to say the least.
Absolutely. There are a couple of things you want to think about, and they're going to think it over with their coach. No, they thought about calling timeout, but yes, they have called their timeout. The signal did come out, so the Alberta clock stops. Bernie Panich will come on down and look over what is, suffice it to say, a situation that is not developed to Alberta's advantage.
And look at on the women's side, the Nova Scotia and Saskatchewan, we have a lot of rocks in play. This is not like Nova Scotia.
Absolutely. That's why when this end is over,
yeah,
I want us to take a look over there if we can. They're on skip stones on sheet D. Saskatchewan sitting one right on the pin.
Yeah.
But in our feature game, the talk for Alberta isn't just about possibly moving Nova Scotia. Granted, it's what do you do with the shooter?
Yeah. Here's the Nova Scotia skip stone.
Well, no, it's, on sheet D.
Yeah, we've got the camera on it.
They'll get the hit, but run it back into the pile, not touching the shot stone at all. And so Saskatchewan will still be sitting the one. They have come to a conclusion. They're going to try to draw at least partly behind the pile.
Yeah.
There is some room on the 4-foot and button behind all that yellow granite.
There's a lot of granite out there, Sean.
And Ryan Jock is trying to find that room with his final stone. You can hear a pin drop. Michael Henricks, Gabriel Dick, getting ready to sweep. It's all in their hands. Looking for a sniff of the button, boys.
Starting to bite in.
It's starting to bite in. It's starting to move over. As far as you can, boys. As far as you can. And they will come up.
A little short. I think they tapped. Looks like they tapped the Nova Scotia, but they might have been. See if there's room there.
See if there's room indeed. They do have that stagger on the Nova Scotia shot stone. That is important.
Want to see if he can get a piece of that to knock that out.
Absolutely. It does make the takeout much more risky for Nova Scotia. Graham Weigel holding the broom as Owen Purcell, his fourth, steps in to slide out. It is a hit for a lot. It is a hit possibly for 5 with the final rock in the 4th. Is Nova Scotia going to blow the game right open? Yes, sir!
Big shot.
Whoa, hey, Noah. 5.
They're pumping the fist there. That was taking advantage of that opportunity.
And can you believe it? Nova Scotia, 5 spot in the 3rd end. Now a 7-1 lead on Team Alberta in this boys gold medal game. We're going to go very quickly to sheet D. This is a hit. Isabel Ladouceur's final stone. Oh, she hit her own first. Did get one of the Saskatchewan Rads off the 4-foot and moved the shot stone just off the button, but it is still Saskatchewan sitting shot. And it is Saskatchewan with the hammer.
Yeah, come in that other side, and they have some a catcher there, she could just freeze up to the Nova Scotia rock to count 2.
Absolutely. Skylar Ackerman. We've seen her make a couple of these shots this week, including, I think, just this afternoon against Alberta. When was this?
What day is it? Where are we
Yesterday against British Columbia, I saw her make a few of these shots.
Here it is, the first points of this game in the Saskatchewan girls against Nova Scotia.
Shot for 2. Skylar Ackerman from the Moose Jaw Forward Curling Club. The sweepers are not touching this. Chantel Hogan, Samantha McLaren. Just starting to clean now. The weight is good. They want to make sure it gets by that guard up top, though. They want to bring it deep. Calling the line is Madison Johnson. They want to get it deep. Do they have the line?
Oh, beautiful.
Boy, howdy do they.
I thought the sweepers for a sec because they went off it, and then all of a sudden they realized, no, we got to get back into it. It started to bite and curl, and just got by that for a big 2 points.
The first points in this girls' gold medal game go to Saskatchewan. 2 of them in the 4th end. They lead Nova Scotia 2-0 at their 4th end break.
And since we had so many rocks in play in the Nova Scotia boys and Alberta and the timeouts and whatnot, they're a little bit behind the other sheets. But that was such an important end that you can see why there was timeouts because of the rocks in play and the shots that needed to be done.
Absolutely. Of the 4 main medal games on the ice, right now Alberta and Nova Scotia, the boys' gold game, the only one still playing. The rest are on a 4th end break. It was a blank 4th end in the boys' bronze medal game. Northern Ontario retains a 1-0 lead. Newfoundland and Labrador will have the hammer in the 5th. And in the girls' bronze medal game over on Sheet E, the Alberta girls picked up a single point in the 4th. That puts them into a 1-1 tie with Team Ontario. Back to our feature game. We've seen the lead stones now. Couple of Alberta guards. They're throwing the red rocks. 2 Nova Scotia yellows, opposite ends of the 4-foot on the center line. Fine Jeffrey Meager peel. Nova Scotia up 7-1. Feel they can afford to keep it pretty clean now.
Well, and that's we've seen it this week. You've seen it, Sean, where teams have had a big lead, and all of a sudden you thought it was safe, and before you know it, 8-2 became 8-4, became 8-6, and it can't happen. It might not tonight, but Alberta needs a few favors. This is what we used to call them in golf. Hey, why don't you dedicate me? Why don't you dedicate me a shot or two and make this thing interesting? And if there are mistakes, then Alberta's got to jump on it and take advantage of it.
That draw came deep enough that Graham Weagle is thinking of a double peel. Jeffrey Meager hoping to deliver. Hard sweep from Owen Purcell. And they'll just nose hit it.
I want to get that out of there, keep that house clean. But Nova Scotia's sitting 2. So.
Yep. The idea is keep the front of the house clean, and a nose hit, or your rock just stays there. It does none of that. Second stone now for Gabrielle Dick. Alberta's second. Trying to nestle something behind a corner. Little rub. Pushes one of the Nova Scotia stones off the 4-foot. Nova Scotia still sitting 1. As we go on to mate stones, Graham Weagle, Nova Scotia skip, coming back to shoot. There was a brief period at the start of this century where skips throwing third stones was in the vogue. The Randy Furby team, with Furby throwing third rocks. Dave Nedwin, one of the great shot makers of my lifetime, all 29 years of it. He threw the final stones. That partnership was good for more than a few Briers and World Championships.
Well, my first taste of international curling was when I was at UNB Fredericton, and they hosted the Junior National Championships up there.
Indeed. A good hit in stick. Nova Scotia has 3 lined up all in a row.
And they gave inexpensive tickets, let's say, for UNB students since they were using the Aiken Center. And I'll never forget, there was this skip from Italy. Now, you and I could have been on that team because his front 3 people didn't do a heck of a lot for this guy. But this skip from Italy, he was making shots when they were playing the U.S., and there was like 4 or 5 U.S. shots all in the rings. And he would make some incredible takeout, drop, raise, and in between portholes, and it was amazing. And the crowd loved him because he kept them in the game. That goes out.
Yep, just peeling off the top Nova Scotia stone. The Blue Nosers still sitting 2.
And as you know, Italians are very emotional people. And every time he made a shot, like the team went crazy, he went crazy, and the crowd got into it. It was really, and he made it a lot of fun. And I go, hey, this curling's not that bad of a gig. So
Graham Weagle going back, looking to peel off another Alberta stone.
I won't mention the year because then that would date me. See, you threw the 29 out there. I'm not touching that.
I only did it for clarification's sake. Because I know there are people out there who will have seen better shot makers in their lifetime. People like Hackner and Ryan in their prime. Pat Ryan. And a good peel there. They're just thinking about what the Alberta guard hit first, the pad or the catcher in the back, and it looks like it hit the catcher first. So both Alberta stones out of play. But Alberta senses an opportunity. That stone is on the back of the button. The Nova Scotia shot stone. And there is the corner guard still up, and that is the shot Alberta's playing. Duskin McCush, made for this rink from the Saville Sports Center in Edmonton. Sweepers dragging it into the house. I think they did enough to get second shot, but it is pretty open. Graham Weagle has a plan A and plan B for this shot. Plan A, of course, get the Alberta stone out. Plan B, peel the guard in front. A guard that in his mind really shouldn't be there. Owen Purcell throwing 4th stones for Team Nova Scotia. Throwing the first 4th stone of the 4th end. Hard sweep. Picture perfect. And roll over to the center line. Nova Scotia still sitting 3. Ryan Jock sliding back, looking for a hit and roll behind cover. He knows his only chance of getting multiple points this end is to get something behind that corner guard. Ryan Jock, skip of Team Alberta, with his first stone in end number 4. Off and on sweeping from Dick and Henricks. They'll get the hit, but roll out of the house. Another missed opportunity, giving Nova Scotia a chance to up the pressure.
We're down to last shots each for the skips in this set. And what we'll do is, as they go to the 4th set and break, we'll move our camera over and we'll get watching the girls' action as it's 2-0 Nova Scotia and Saskatchewan.
Absolutely.
So no break for us, Shawnee. Okay,
Not
it's
today.
all right. All right, big guy, can you handle it?
Yep.
Okay.
No break today. We will continue to provide you updates of the Alberta-Nova Scotia game.
Of course, any of you folks that are in the building listening to us, if you want to come over and give us some refreshments, we're all for that. I'm just throwing it out there, okay? Some refreshments, food would be good.
Final Nova Scotia stone. Purcell looking to put this top of the 8-foot. He'll dig in and get a piece.
You know, a well played in for Nova Scotia, not having last rock, really putting the pressure on Alberta here.
And now Ryan Jacques makes his way back to the hack, looking at a cold draw.
Just for one.
Just for one on top of the Nova Scotia stone. He does have some backing. And I hate to say it, but this is a must-make shot at this point. It is the final stone in end number 4. Dustin McCush holding the broom. Gabriel Dick, Michael Henricks ready to sweep. And sweeping they are. You need T-line, gentlemen. You need T-line, boys. How far can you drag it? How far can you drag it? It's not far enough.
It's curling. They tried to hold the line. They couldn't hold the line. So a steal of at least 2. And
they're taking a look for the 3rd.
It might be 3.
And I think you're right. I think it is 3. Rarely in this event do we see double digits on the scoreboard. We may just see him under the Nova Scotia total.
Well, and you know, when you get 5 scored against you in a goal, that sets you back. And not saying that affected the next end, but you could think that's in the back of your mind. The boys could be thinking like, okay, what just happened there? Like, you know, and all of a sudden you're into another end here, and you gotta. That's where you sort of got to park it. And but
absolutely,
you know what happened? You make a little mistake against a good team, and that's what the good teams do. They take advantage of those.
They're posting the score, and it is a steal of 3. Nova Scotia goes into the 4th end break of the boys' gold medal game with a 10-1 lead.
So we're going to switch over our viewing attention to the ladies' game, the girls' game, with Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia.
Sadly, we have to apologize. We don't have overhead cameras on sheet D. That's why most of our action has been on sheet C today. Only coming over for occasional peeks so far. This is a decent tap back. It looks to me Nova Scotia throwing the yellow stones is sitting, I think, 2 around the 4-foot. It is Nova Scotia with the hammer. This is Madison Johnson's 2nd stone for Team Saskatchewan. The rink from the Moose Jaw Ford Curling Club in beautiful Moose Jaw. I don't think there is a more Canadian place name than Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
I know at my camp we have a lot of moose around the camp, around the lake. It's a great feeding ground for them with the lily pads. And
a good strong scrub.
And again, there's a fair amount of rocks in play. Like the first few ends were like, okay, very, like you said, clean. Like
Absolutely.
clean. And then the previous end and this end, there's a lot of action going on that Saskatchewan says, let's take advantage of this. We like a lot of rocks in play.
They were taking a look. I think Saskatchewan, I think they might just have shot stone now. They are curling to the far end relative to our broadcast position. Isabelle Ladouceur calling a guard with Emily Prue's final stone. Just a gentle clean so far. So Nova Scotia must believe they are still shot. And I am
putting a guard up there.
Yep, I am probably mistaken in my early conviction that Saskatchewan must be shot. They're forced to try the wide draw with Skylar Ackerman's first. But I've seen Ackerman make a couple of these yesterday. We've seen her make one to score in the previous end today.
Yeah, Saskatchewan defeated Alberta in the semi 6-5 at extra ends to get the Saskatchewan faithful, the Rider Pride, the Green Wave. They were all super excited back at the hotel. And the Nova Scotia girls defeated Ontario. Anytime you beat Ontario in any sport, it's a big deal. And they defeated them 7-5 to get here to this gold medal match tonight.
Ackerman looking at the draw. Chantel Hogue and Samantha McLaren escorting it down, just giving it a light clean here and there. Their best hope now, if they can curl and doink their own into the 4-foot. They do get a doink, and I think they got it. We do believe Saskatchewan is sitting shot stone behind a lot of granite of various colors in front. As Nova Scotia prepares for their first skip stone, Michaela Harnish looking from the hack as the back end. Isabelle Ladouceur and mate Emily Prue.
They want a timeout.
Discussing the situation. They will take a timeout. Brian Rafuse, the Nova Scotia coach, coming down. Staying at the coach's table is the alternate for Team Nova Scotia, Ellen House. And while we get a moment, I just want to mention, before the semifinal draw, Curling Canada and the organizers of this Canadian Under-18 Curling Championship in St. Andrews announced the winners of the Sportsmanship Awards. These Fair Play Awards are given to the players at each position who best exemplifies the principles of sportsmanship and fair play as chosen by the event umpires. The Women's Fair Play Award winners were lead Piper Crozier from Northern Ontario, second Chantel Hogue from Saskatchewan, third Carly Smith representing the host entry from New Brunswick, and skip Anne-Catherine Perron from Quebec. The winning coach for sportsmanship on the girls' side, Bruce Cox. And the boys' fair play winners lead Colin McKenzie of Prince Edward Island, second Gabrielle Dick of Alberta, third Adam Tracy from New Brunswick, and the skip Ryan McNeil Lambswood from Newfoundland and Labrador. The fair play winning coach was Brian Mickey of British Columbia. All those curlers and coaches received their fair play awards as well as brooms from Asham Curling Supply. Timeout is over. Nova Scotia, Ladouceur trying to move some of that front granite. Biff. And they do get rid of one. Again, it is a close run thing. Who is shot stone? Saskatchewan thinks it's a close run thing. They're having a hard look at it. Nova Scotia Saskatchewan back end of Ackerman and Johnson. I think they think Saskatchewan is still shot. Calling a draw behind what's left of the front guards. You may be able to see there is a Nova Scotia guard on the 4-foot line. Skylar Ackerman from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. With her last stone in the 5th end. Trying to put together a steal. Sweepers indicate the rock is quick.
The score is 2-0 for Saskatchewan currently.
Indeed. This needs to dig in a lot. Needs to dig in and curl. It'll get some finish. But it's still pretty wide open.
Just for clarification, folks, we've moved our camera to the girls' gold medal game, and the score that you see up on the screen is from the boys that we were broadcasting. So it's 10-1 Nova Scotia over Alberta boys, but we're watching the girls' gold medal game. So ignore that score up in your left corner of your screen.
We will give you continuing updates on all the games as we go along, including at the conclusion of this end, we'll update the scores from the bronze medal games. Right now, Isabelle Ladouceur sliding back, looking at a tricky situation for Nova Scotia. There are 14 rocks in play. And this is the final stone of the end. This could very well be a loud draw for Isabelle Ladouceur from the Lakeshore Curling Club in Lower Sackville. Sweepers on it gently, gentle clean from Kate Callahan. Turning into a bigger scrub. Want a piece of the button. Come into the back and they appear to get at least one. The mates, Madison Johnson, Emily Prue, having a good hard look. Trying to figure out what the score is. They may have to come in and measure. No, they've figured it out. Or have they? No, still looking, Johnson and Prue, along with everyone else. It looks like, yes, they are bringing out the measuring stick. A measure in the girls' gold medal game to figure out who has scored what. While they're doing the measure, we'll give you the update on the scores from the bronze medal games. In the boys' bronze medal game on sheet B, Newfoundland and Labrador got on the board with a single in the 5th end. They're tied with Northern Ontario at 1, playing end number 6. And over on sheet E, in the girls' bronze medal game, a steal of 1 in 5 for Alberta puts the Rocky Mountain province into a 2-1 lead on Ontario. Again, they're starting the 6th end there. They have finished with the measure. It is Nova Scotia who has scored. We're just waiting to receive word on how many. And we're still waiting to receive word. It is going to be a point or two, I think. At any rate, they're about to get the sixth end underway. It is 2 points for Nova Scotia. 2 points for Nova Scotia in 6. And the Blue Nosers have tied things up with Saskatchewan. 2-2 the score as we get the sixth end underway. They're at the Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships. You are looking live at the girls' gold medal game. Sean Thompson, Keith Rains, with you at the broadcast booth in the W.C. O'Neill Arena Complex in St. Andrews, New Brunswick. The O'Neill Arena Complex and the Heather Curling Club with their dedicated ice in this center have put together a splendid event that we at Bell Lion TV1 are proud to give you the climax of.
We got the score straight now, Sean.
Fantastic. Yes, I can see Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia 2-2 as we get the sixth end off and running with a couple of guards. This is the kind of end I think Saskatchewan is really going to like. They were, I think, a touch unlucky to give up the 2, although some great shots by Isabelle Ladouceur to round off that end.
And I know you've explained to the folks at home, we were broadcasting the gold medal boys game that had our center. That's where we had our cameras. Due to the fact it's 10-1, we thought we move our cameras over to the girls' gold medal game.
Or what cameras we could move.
Yes, what cameras we could move. And then we corrected the score because the score was showing the boys' game. So
we'll give you an update on the boys' game. They're just about to finish their fifth end, following their last shot. Meanwhile here, Nova Scotia has a rock back of the house, courtesy of Michaela Harnish. And Samantha McLaren will throw her second. Again, just trying to come around that center pack a bit.
And some real close bronze medal games going on here tonight, Sean.
Absolutely, some real barn burners. And everyone on the scoreboard. This one's going to just settle full 8 foot in the back of the house. Saskatchewan sitting 1. The fact that they're behind the tee line.
You like to be in front of that tee line. That's the scoring. That's the power position.
Especially early in the end.
The control zone.
The control zone, especially early in the end, where now you have those rocks serving as backing in the back of the house if you're ever heavy on a draw. They can catch any hits that go awry. Not the ideal position for these rocks. And a solid draw there by Kate Callahan, right on top of the button. Nova Scotia sitting 1. Saskatchewan know they have to get rid of it, but they have to get rid of a guard or 2 first. Chantel Hogue, Sportsmanship Award winner. Her first rock just trying to peel off one of those guards.
Just taps it though, puts on the center line.
Puts it on the center line, opens it up a little bit. But still, the shot Nova Scotia Yellowstone, half covered. And Ladouceur is asking Callahan just to draw into it. We do have an update from Sheet C. Alberta got 2 back with a hammer in the 5th end. Nova Scotia still commanding the boys' gold medal game 10-3. Graham Weagle's team from the Chester Curling Club with the lead. And how special would it be for the junior program down in Chester, right on the shores of Mahone Bay, to see one of their own bring home a national championship banner?
Well, I mean, what a great kudos to Nova Scotia. Boys, girls team, national final. That bodes well for curling in Nova Scotia, doesn't it? Well, and it bodes well for curling in the Atlantic Canada to know that you don't have to drive or go halfway across the country. You want good competition? Have it right here.
And we've seen great competition. This event where we have both Nova Scotian boys and girls in the under-18 final, a good, very good raised takeout there. Nova Scotia still sitting one, but it is off the button and out in the open. Just to complete that thought, the thought I had a moment ago, Nova Scotia boys and girls in the final of the U-18. They had strong runs in the under-21, the junior championships as well, and Nova Scotia, not just the junior Canadian champion, the junior world champion on the girls' side.
It's tremendous because it just makes curling in Canada better, because when you always think of curling, you think of Saskatchewan, you think of Manitoba, you think of Alberta, right? They're sort of the hubs, and obviously Ontario. But it's really nice to see strength across the country in the youth programs that are strong, because that just bodes well as they move up in categories, and for our senior national teams and our world team. I mean, our senior, like we have world champion seniors coming from Canada, coming from New Brunswick, and that's just so exciting.
Absolutely. The draw was both light and a bit inside. Leaves a guard that Saskatchewan very happy to try to peel away. Madison Johnson, nose hit.
What? Oh, roll that
Not
one
a
in there.
great hit and roll. They hit the shot stone, and that Nova Scotia guard rolls right onto the back of the button.
And what a sport that you can play pretty well all your life. There's not too many sports that can do that and play at a high level, because I've had friends, we play like university volleyball, and then you play senior A, that's good. And then sometimes you get a little older and they have to go to like senior B. They go, no, if I can't play against the best, I don't want to play anymore. And with curling, you can go on to, the senior, the levels and stuff. And the Travelers, you mentioned the Travelers national championships, which are awesome.
The Travelers Curling Club Championships.
Yes. So it's just a great sport for the youth and for the recreational person too.
Emily Prue, made for Nova Scotia, delivering another fine draw. Nova Scotia trying to clog up the front. Defend the shot stone now on the button with their life. Saskatchewan interested in getting some of those guards away. Ackerman calling a hit. Ideally, she'd like to bump her own in if at all possible. If not, at least get a couple of those guards away. Addison Johnson with the shot. Sweeper's not touching it. Hogue and McLaren are silent. This needs to do a lot of curling. They're going to get it, but just roll by the shot stone. Another opportunity for Nova Scotia now. Ladouceur wants to come down right on her shot stone on the button. High drama here in the girls' gold medal game. This is the second year, as we mentioned, for the Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships. Last year in Moncton, both Northern Ontario rinks took the title. Nova Scotia this year looking to emulate the Northern Ontario boys and do a junior double. The National Junior Championships and the U-18 Championships in the same season. Just a gentle clean from Harnish and Callahan. They're by the guard. Just rub their own. Some separation, but not a lot. Nova Scotia sitting 2, but they may have given Saskatchewan an opportunity. You notice, Keith, that pocket there. Yeah. You can't do a hit because of the guards, but the sure is shooting can draw into that pocket.
Because they're behind the control line.
Absolutely.
We have Northern Ontario up 3-1 in the boys' bronze medal game over Newfoundland.
Jacob Horgan's ring from Curl Sudbury getting 2 in the 6th end.
And Alberta and Ontario are all tied up at 2s.
Yep, a single taken by Madison Warner's ring from the Lisdale Curling Club. And a cold draw, first stone from Skylar Ackerman in end number 6. Sweepers being called on. They have to go hard. They have to pound it. Hurry, girls, hurry. No.
Just rubs up against that guard.
Rubs up against the guard, but the shot was well short regardless.
Yeah, it was, the weight was light, and they were trying to keep the line.
An uncharacteristic mistake from Skylar Ackerman. Nova Scotia looking to take firm control. They'll get their chances. Isabelle Ladouceur comes back. They're going to try to draw in. No, I think they're going to try to guard. My apologies. Put another one in the pile.
Okay, don't let that happen again, Sean. Okay. Did you have your tea in between?
I did.
Thank goodness.
Nova Scotia's last stone in 6. They've got 2 in the house. They've got another Saskatchewan stone to worry about. Harnish and Callahan not touching it. And a beautiful guard. They have just about prevented Saskatchewan from raising their own into the rings.
Is that called the picket fence?
And unsurprisingly, Saskatchewan calling a timeout.
Yeah, because they're saying, are we missing anything? Is there anything we can do to get in there?
Coach Patrick Ackerman coming out to discuss things with his girls. Time is not the issue here, strategy is.
Yeah.
Now I can see a path on the left-hand side of the ice to try to draw. You would only be using the shot stone right on the back of the button for backing. It does make it a trickier shot, and of course, if you're a bit heavy, you give up 2. There aren't really any raises on. There aren't any in-offs on. I think Ackerman is giving his girls the lay of the land. Yeah. Patrick Ackerman, the coach.
He's looking at angles, and then it comes down to what does she feel, the shot that she feels most comfortable with. And there was talk at the hotel when in between said, is this major ice storm that's hitting Ontario. Of course, all the teams are here that are heading west.
Absolutely.
Have to go through Toronto more. If it's not Montreal, then it's Toronto. And everyone was concerned with flights and whatnot because they'd be leaving tomorrow, which might not happen because looking at the weather forecast, folks, it's +4 here. Nice. Cold though.
I think I was reading before our broadcast that in the GTA they've issued a no travel advisory.
And it's going to go all night and into tomorrow. It's just not like overnight, a few hours. It's like over a 12, 14-hour time span. And
so what you're saying is, for those of our viewers in Ontario, you've got nothing better to do than to sit down and watch the curling.
Well, as long as you don't lose your power, which is
I
another
suppose.
concern. And so there was a few ladies say, well, if we have to be stuck anywhere, it's a pretty nice place to be stuck here at the Algonquin Hotel. So
absolutely. They are not going with the draw. They're trying to raise their own guard on the left-hand side. This has to be practically nose. Sweepers are on it now. Hogue and McLaren, they're off. Do they have the angle? No.
going in and
Disappointment for Saskatchewan, and a steal of 2 for Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia up to a 4-2 lead with that big steal. Saskatchewan, though, keeps the hammer playing 7. This is the girls' gold medal game of the 2018 Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships. Live from St. Andrews, New Brunswick on Bellline TV1. You were saying, Keith.
Well, we're just talking about from a Nova Scotia perspective, you know, the 6 you had, you know, you're giving the hammer to the Saskatchewan for 7th. Worst case scenario, they score, then you've got the hammer in 8.
Absolutely.
But as we've seen already in this game, having the hammer sometimes, it can work the other way too. And we've seen it this week in games where teams been stealing points, obviously without the hammer. So there's a lot to be played, and you got to play within yourself. This is where the mental toughness has to come. You can't think about the big picture. You can't think about a gold medal around your neck. You just think what you have to do as a player to execute the shots that are required.
Absolutely. I'm just taking a quick peek over at the boys. The gold medal game on sheet C. Alberta is sitting 4 in the house. Nova Scotia attempting some sort of takeout. We'll let you know how that goes as it executes. Nova Scotia able to kill 1 of the stones. Alberta getting a steal of 2 after 6 ends. Nova Scotia still with a 10-5 lead. Sticking with our principal game here. Saskatchewan still with the hammer. First stone for Samantha McLaren. An easy corner guard. Ladouceur asking Michaela Harnish to guard up their one top of the house. One thing I've noticed, Nova Scotia, they like to go into the house early. You'll often see some of the more aggressive teams put up guards and then try to figure out ways around them. Not Nova Scotia. This one, I think, is heavy from the get-go. They're going to end up bumping their own stone back.
Not quite what was planned.
Sometimes, even if you don't get what you want, you may find out you get what you need. I think the great philosopher Jagger said that.
Oh, as Sir Mick.
Yeah, and much apologies to Brian Singer. I did steal that line from the pilot episode of House MD. Quick update from the boys' bronze medal game on sheet B, a blank 7th end between Newfoundland and Northern Ontario. Ryan McNeil Lambswood and his rink from the Remax Center in St. John's Curling Club will take the hammer into the final end, down 3-1 to the defending champion, Riley Horgan of Curling Sudbury, trying to get his Northern Ontario rink back on the podium.
And Alberta scored 2 more. Go 10-5 in the boys.
Yep.
But they're into the last. What end are we into down there with the boys?
They're into the 7th end.
Yes.
Both of our gold medal games are playing 7, and that is a guard peeled out. The shooter will stick around in the opposite corner. So not a perfect peel from Nova Scotia, but they're content to go back into hitting mode at this point. Keep things wide open.
I mean, they would like to hold Saskatchewan to 1. Obviously, Saskatchewan would like to have 2 or more going into the final end. But the girls from Saskatchewan have been in this before, and as I said, they won an extra end game just to get here. 6-5, beating their rival, Alberta, in a very exciting semifinal.
And this stone is just going deep. They are behind the corner, but they're also full back 12. Helpful in that they're behind the corner. It will be a little harder for Nova Scotia. Second, Kate Callahan to get at. The call is a hit, but even if they're just able to peel off their own corner guard, I'm sure that'll be just fine. Harnish with the sweep by the guard.
Ooh.
Just clip it.
Yeah. And just for you folks at home on what's happening with the broadcast, if you'd like to get copies of it or to see it, what will be happening, we will be downloading this. Downloading, left, right, up, down, to Curling Canada, and then they will be putting it on their website on YouTube for you to view. And that might take a few days, but it will be there eventually. So if you want to be able to have a recap of this week's activities and games, as there have been a lot of exciting ones,
look for the Curling Canada channel on YouTube. They'll have on-demand access to featured draws from all of Curling Canada's championships this season, as well as some old classics from vintage Brier films, the classic games like the 2004 Brier final. Mark Dacey in Nova Scotia and Randy Furby of Alberta out in the prairie of Saskatchewan. Just if you don't want to watch the hockey tonight, give that a look after this game. Oh, buy everything. Is that the break Saskatchewan needs?
maybe.
They're looking to get out the Nova Scotia shot stone and maybe, just maybe, split the house.
And we've talked about it before. Is like you make one bad shot or one missed opportunity, all of a sudden you got to make 2 good ones to make up for it. And here's a big opportunity for Saskatchewan.
Madison Johnson, her first stone of the 7th. Just trying to knock the Nova Scotia shot stone out. The sweepers being waved to clean. Get the hit and the roll across.
Good separation there.
Saskatchewan sitting 2, but as you said, well separated. Emily Prue in the hack now. Team Nova Scotia. They had a great effort to get here from 3-3. They only made championship round play. by virtue of a head-to-head tiebreaker with the host team. They beat the host team in round-robin play, the host team, the New Brunswick runners-up. And then they lost their first championship pool match to Ontario, 4-1. Needed to win their last two to get into the semifinals. Well, a 6-4 win over Quebec, 8-4 win over British Columbia this morning saw to that. And they captured a win in a grudge match against Ontario, 7-5. Now they stand perhaps two ends away from a Canadian championship. Madison Johnson with her second, again looking to split the rings, this time with a draw. Chantel Hogue, Samantha McLaren, just coming off the brooms now.
Nice weight.
Nice weight indeed.
Sweepers in there just to get it in and a little bit more separation.
Well, they just about have the separation. Yep. They look to be top of the 8-foot.
She's looking like there is an opportunity for. They want it obviously a little deeper, as you said, Sean. You'd like to have it just plain even.
Absolutely.
And that was one high, little low. So they're looking at getting a piece of that and going over, thicken the other, and maybe stick around.
A hit and roll. Maybe, if they're lucky, a long double takeout. Isabelle Ladouceur likes this style of play, likes to keep things open. Doing some house cleaning with her first stone.
She's been making big shots all week. This is why this Nova Scotia team is here.
Hard on the broom. I'll just get the one and stick.
Yeah.
Just get the one and stick. And so Saskatchewan will have the chance to take it out. No hesitation from Skylar Ackerman. No hesitation wanted or needed. The green and gold of Saskatchewan still sitting one red stone. We believe that Saskatchewan's stone just in the back of the 8-foot is shot rock. We don't have overhead cameras on this sheet, unfortunately.
I'll have to talk to Brian Fisher about that one. Why don't we have a, well, that's because we've moved our main camera over to watch the gold medal ladies game as the Nova Scotia's up 10-5 in the boys final against Alberta.
Hogan McLaren on it hard. They keep the line the hit, but they will roll over. How close? That is tight indeed.
Okay.
Ladouceur having a look. The Saskatchewan stones are close in the house. I wonder if there's a chance for a double.
This is the time. Big
she gives a fist bump to her front end. Steps into the hack.
I mean, they wouldn't mind being down one with hammer going into 8. 2, a little bit more difficult, obviously.
Saskatchewan with the hammer, but this is Nova Scotia's last stone. Hard sweep. Kate Callahan. They get it by the guard. 1.
No.
And they'll just roll across the top of the other. Saskatchewan now. Skylar Ackerman left with an open draw for 2 to tie things back up.
And this is a good time for her just to get her draw weight. If it comes down to the last end where she needs to have another draw. Nice easy open end here for her to do it, but a big 2 points. If Saskatchewan can get this one in the rings.
Anywhere in the paint will put 2 points on the board. Madison Johnson holding the broom. Chantel Hogue and Samantha McLaren ready to sweep. And Skylar Ackerman from the Moose Jaw Ford Curling Club delivering the final stone in the 7th end. The sweepers are on it, not as hard as they can go, but a good vigorous brushing. You need the paint, girls, anywhere in the rings. Anywhere in the rings. Gotta get it there, girls. Gotta get it there. You need paint, girls. You need paint. And they don't have it.
Wow. Wow.
Saskatchewan only takes one. Ackerman is light on her last draw. And Nova Scotia will go into the final end of this girls' final with a 4-3 lead and the hammer. This is the Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships, live from the W.C. O'Neill Arena Complex in St. Andrews, New Brunswick. And this is Bell Line TV1. This is our last curling event of the season.
No, say it ain't so. It is.
But we will be back in the fall with coverage of some of the Atlantic Cash Spiel circuit, going into the winter and provincial playdowns, juniors, men's, and women's in all 4 Atlantic provinces. If there's curling, you can see it on Bell Line TV1.
Now, Sean, rumor has it that when curling season is over, it's supposed to be nice weather. So can you explain that to me? Because my wife is having a real hard time right about now that it hasn't been great.
Welcome to Canada.
All across.
Oh, and this is a bad mistake. You saw Madison Johnson angrily kick away that hogged first stone for Saskatchewan. A bad start to a climatic end. Just a quick update from the girls' bronze medal game on sheet E. Ontario, the Madison Warner rink from Listowel. They picked up a steal of 1 and will take a 3-2 lead home against Alberta. Riley Backer's rink from the Calgary Curling Club will take the hammer coming home. We'll let you know how that end turns out. Nova Scotia was just content to throw their first stone through the house. So Saskatchewan and Samantha McLaren will get a second chance with a guard. And the sweepers are taking little chance. Hogan Johnson getting it past the center line, or if you hear noise around us, they're starting to get set for the closing ceremony. We've seen from our broadcast position teams getting lined up. You can see the Yukon team right below us. We've seen a Mountie who's here to prepare to deliver the championship trophies. We see people resplendent in their red CCA blazers. And we and you just saw another throw through for Nova Scotia.
Yeah, they want to keep it clean, but listen, there's points that can be had. So for all you Saskatchewan fans, don't lose faith yet. You're only down a point, and stranger things have happened. But like what Nova Scotia is doing now, so we don't want to gain rocks. We don't want to keep getting rocks in play. We want you to get anything behind. So we'll see what happens here. But a fortunate event in that 7th end, just a little light on it for an open, well, just get in the rings to tie this up. But they're only 1 down. But the problem is now is Nova Scotia has the hammer.
Nova Scotia does have the hammer. And the free guard zone rule has expired with the throwing of the 4th stone. So Saskatchewan content now to come into the house with a draw. Right to the pin. A gorgeous shot by Chantel Hogue. And Nova Scotia will begin peeling.
And it's interesting in the boys' gold medal game, after Nova Scotia goes up 10-1, they've given up 2 and 1 to Alberta.
Yeah, Alberta with another steal of 1 in the 7th end.
Taking your foot off the accelerator.
When you're up 10-1 in an 8-end game, perhaps you can afford to do that.
Yeah.
At any rate, Nova Scotia goes into the 8th end with the hammer and a 10-6 lead.
Northern Ontario is over Newfoundland 3-1. And on the girls' bronze medal game, Alberta, Ontario, we have the girls are covering up.
It is 3-2 Ontario with the lead. A guard the call for Chantel Hogue's second shot. Need to get on the center line here, girls. Just cross it if you can. We will have the closing ceremonies here on TV1 as soon as this draw is completed. We got 4 games to finish. And if any of them go into an extra end, we'll have some coverage of that extra end as we lead into the closing. Another peel for Nova Scotia. On the nose, and they kill the shot in the rings, too. Fine double takeout, getting the Blue Nosers excited. Could Nova Scotia be looking for our second straight boys and girls double at these National Under-18 Curling Championships? Northern Ontario did it last year. Saskatchewan needs to get rocks in play. Madison Johnson. Her first of 2 stones. Trying to come around that Nova Scotia shooter. It does need to curl. Just trying to get it deep, get it to finish. Only about a quarter buried. Ladouceur's probably thinking that her mate Emily Prue could make this in her sleep.
But it is the national final, gold medal. Now, some people, you can't think about that. You just, and we talked about this earlier, just see the shot, make the shot. See the shot, make the shot. Don't think about anything else. Everything else you think about afterwards.
They get by the guard, get the hit, and roll behind cover.
Wow.
The Blue Nosers getting louder.
They're feeling it. They're feeling it.
And we have a final score. Northern Ontario will take 1 in the final end. Jacob Horgan's team from the Curl Sudbury are your bronze medalists for Northern Ontario. They defeat the Ryan McNeil Lambswood Quartet from the Remax Center in St. John's Curling Club in Newfoundland. 4-1 the final score. Horgan's rink back on the podium for a second straight year.
And that took a little regrouping after losing the semis to Alberta 5-2. To come out, a gutsy effort, winning it
4-1.
4-1.
There was 1 Northern Ontario Yellowstone sitting shot at the end of that end.
And that's tough for Newfoundland. You're looking at the boys over there, tough loss. As we said in the bronze medal game, you lose, you don't get a medal, and that's tough. But they've had a great week at curling, and that's something they can be very proud of. Going up against some of the best teams, well, obviously the best teams in the country.
And I think it was the great baseball commentator Vin Scully who once said that losing feels worse than winning feels good.
That's right. It's true.
Well, I hope they'll be able to look back on this event with some pride as Nova Scotia takes out another Saskatchewan stone. They biff off their own and roll out the top, but they're not worried about that. They just want to get the Saskatchewan stones out of there as we're on to skip stones and nearing the last chance saloon for Saskatchewan.
And this is why this event is such a great opportunity for these young curlers, average age, we're talking 15 to 17 years of age, to be in this theater of exposure, of games and situations, they only can learn from them, right? And you have to make mistakes, and the key thing, the good players, the great players and teams learn from their mistakes, because you're going to be in those situations again, and it's how you handle it.
And we may well be seeing many of these players on TSN and junior championships in the not too distant future, perhaps even in the Scotties and the Brier and years further down the line.
Well, look what that Nova Scotia boys team has accomplished this year
Absolutely.
already. You were talking about
Madison Johnson, her first skip stone in the final end of regulation, the 8th end. A hard sweep now from Hogan McLaren. The rock is starting to bite hard. Are they going to get by the guard?
a little
No,
nudge.
little nudge. Now they are staying on top of the house. Nova Scotia does have the open hit, but they have to avoid the jam on their own shot stone and back. Isabelle Ladouceur. She may just be aware that this is for a national championship. She prepares to deliver her first stone in end number 8. They're going to take the time to think about it a little more. Take the time to have a group discussion. They may not have any timeouts left, but they do have over 6 minutes of thinking time, more than enough to get rid of 2 stones.
And again, while we have a moment here, they're talking, as we can see all the volunteers, the mayor getting set up, Sue Lister and her outstanding group committee, over 156 volunteers. It's coming to a close, and I imagine there's going to be a few tears shed for these, because they've had a great week, and obviously a lot of planning has gone involved, but they must be extremely happy. And
we look to sheet C now, and it's all over. Alberta is finally out of stones.
A new national champion.
And it is Graham Weagle, Team Nova Scotia from the Chester Curling Club. Owen Purcell, Jeffrey Meager, Scott Weagle, and Coach Anthony Purcell filling out that roster. They take the boys' gold medal game 10-6.
A lot of work, a lot of time, and this is for a coach, it's just satisfaction. It's relief.
Absolutely.
And it's satisfaction.
Ladouceur was waiting for the clamor to die down as she tries her hit, and it looks like run into her own guard and biff it out that way.
Whoa, okay, we'll take that. Or they'll take that.
Fantastically cheeky shot.
And Saskatchewan wants a timeout.
Ladouceur. Well, with 2 rocks to play, it's not as if you can take them with you.
And we got a timeout. Alberta's calling a timeout over in the bronze medal on the girls' side, too. So we got some time here. Johnny.
We do have a bit of time, and as you mentioned, it's been a fantastic event from the volunteers on down. We want to make special mention here, special thanks to all the great commentators who have been with us all week. From Les Harrison, my father, Steve Thompson, on down. It really has been a fantastic event, and we thank everyone for their contribution. And of course, we got to thank Matthew Brown, our dedicated cameraman, sitting at ice level. Give yourself a pat on the back for us, Matthew. He has done a fantastic job here at the W.C. O'Neill Complex all weekend.
All week?
All week.
Week?
I forgot it was a week.
See, the days blend after a while, don't they, Sean?
Absolutely. But he truly has done yeoman's work on this Bellline TV1 broadcast, and it would not be anywhere near a success without him.
So here we go. Final skip stone for Saskatchewan.
It is a draw into the forefoot. Want to keep on the button if you can. You have to be shot stone if you're Skylar Ackerman.
And
a hard sweep now from Hogue and McLaren. They gotta be shot stone. They gotta be shot stone, girls. This is a national championship.
They're working it. They're working it.
Gotta be shot, and they don't have it. They don't have it. Nova Scotia are your national under-18 champions. The brooms go flying. The hugs come out.
And the tears are flowing.
Start to pour. The cowbells ring for the Blue Nosers, and the sullen faces are in Saskatchewan Roughriders jerseys.
But
final score of the girls' gold medal game: Nova Scotia 4, Saskatchewan 3, your national champions. On the girls' side as well as the boys, Team Nova Scotia: Isabelle Ladouceur, Emily Prue, Kate Callahan, Michaela Harnish, their alternate Elenos, and Coach Brian Rafuse from the Lakeshore Curling Club in Lower Sackville.
Wow. What those last few ends. You know, told it was tight all the way.
And there is but one game left on the ice as we continue to look at the matching scenes of jubilation.
It was that steal
from
at
the
2.
It was that steal at 2.
That was the difference maker. You know, they Nova Scotia got 2, they stole 2, and then Saskatchewan came back with 1, but they were light on the draw, which could have tied it up. And going 4-3 in the 8th end, Nova Scotia pulls it out. Boy, what a great week of curling, because Nova Scotia started off on the girls' side. They had a record of
3-3. They just got into the championship round by having beat the host team, the New Brunswick runner-up, in a head-to-head matchup.
Wow. That's how close this is here.
And they lost their first championship round game to Ontario. They rattled up 4 straight wins at the death.
And they had to play at 9 o'clock this morning then.
They had to
9
play
and 1:30 and tonight. Wow. Kudos to the girls. Great week at curling and a great day at curling today. Something that they'll never forget.
Absolutely. The jubilation from Nova Scotia. They have done the double.
And now Matthew is moving it one sheet over again.
One sheet over to the bronze medal game.
Alberta and Ontario girls.
Yep, it is Alberta with the hammer. Alberta is also shot stone. Ontario has a 3-2 lead. This is Madeline Warrener's final stone, trying to shake things up in the house. Big weight, the sweepers struggling to keep up with it. It's curling hard now. They'll pick one off, but they'll push some up as well. And Alberta are sitting 3, and they don't need to throw their last stone. Alberta have won the bronze medal with an incredible 3 spot in the final end. 5-3. Alberta and Riley Backersrink from the Calgary Curling Club. Your under-18 girls bronze medalists. 5-3 they win. Handshakes and commiserations aplenty. I really hope, win or lose, both teams, all the teams in this championship draw, are able to look back and reflect on what a fantastic week they have had to get this far, to be playing for medals in a national championship. And in the case of 6 of these teams, receiving medals.
Well, and what happens, Sean, and I've seen it a lot watching these competitions with the young ones, is the coaches and they get together after the games are over. They get together as a unit. They talk about, You know, what went well, and talk about situational play.
The Alberta boys joining in the celebrations with their counterparts on the girls' side.
I mean, hey, Alberta going home with silver and bronze, not too bad. But they talk about, and we talk about the physical component of the game, but they talk about the mental side of the game. And how did you feel out there? What was going through your mind? Because before a coach can correct things, I've got to know what were you thinking out there? What was going through your mind? And because, as I said, those situations will come up again and again and again. And to be able to learn, that's a sign of a true athlete, and that's a sign of a winner. Hey, I can remember making mistakes.
Absolutely.
You know? And you know what? It just ripped you apart. But you know what? Those situations came again, and we overcame those situations. So that's what and I know their coaches will be sitting down with them afterwards. So, like you said, there were tears shed today on some of the losses, but learn from those. And great learning moments here. And but they've got to take away. You played in a national championship.
Absolutely.
Wow. Not a lot of athletes ever get a chance to play in a quality event like this.
And of the 26 teams here in St. Andrews this weekend, 25 were already champions before they got here. They won their provincial, territorial, or regional championships in order to clinch their spot. This is the Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships, live from St. Andrews, New Brunswick on Bella Line TV1. We're just getting set now for the closing ceremonies. We want to recap as they do that, and you can see the local television cameras getting set. You can see the local station in St. Andrews, CHCO, located here out of the W.C. O'Neill complex. They're setting up their cameras to record for their local news magazine as they're starting the teardown of the arena.
And they also are getting things ready for the medal presentations and the championship hardware.
Absolutely.
But getting back to this, talking national championships, when I coached volleyball at university, and we're playing in the provincial championship. And there was some guys who had went through the high school, played 3 years at university before I got there.
Absolutely.
And they go, Coach, I've never played in a provincial championship before. It sort of blew my mind up because, I was very fortunate as an athlete.
Oh, yes.
Played in provincial championships, national championships, conference, Atlantics, whatever. And I just looked and went, oh, my goodness. Like, this is a big moment for these guys. And to have these young athletes, not only, like you said, Sean, being in competition and winning their region, their province, their territory, but coming to the national stage and to be playing on, as they say, arena ice, and they're treated like kings and queens when they come here, as the host committee's done an outstanding job. The people up at the Algonquin Hotel, everything has just been first rate and first class. They're winners already. They were winners before they stepped on the ice. And to play in this competition, kudos to them and the time and the commitment that those athletes have put in, as well as their coaches, as well as the mom and dads.
Absolutely.
Can't forget
the unsung heroes.
Yeah.
And they'll be there with shoulders either to host their sons and daughters on top of or to cry on. At a great finale. Just going to review the scores if you missed any. The scores of our medal round games here in St. Andrews. On the boys' side, in the bronze medal game, Northern Ontario took a 4-1 win over Newfoundland and Labrador. Jacob Horgan from Curl Sudbury back on the podium for a second straight year. He was the defending champion. Ryan McNeil Lambswood's rink from the Remax Center in St. John's Curling Club finished fourth. In the boys' gold medal game, Nova Scotia scored an outstanding 10-6 victory over Alberta. The gold goes to Graham Weagle's rink from the Chester Curling Club. Ryan Jakes foursome From the Saville Community Sports Center in Edmonton, your runners-up. On the girls' side, the bronze medal goes to Team Alberta, 5-3 victors over Ontario. Bronze medalist Riley Backersrink from the Calgary Curling Club, while Madeline Warner's rink from the Listowel Curling Club finished the event 4th place. And the girls' gold medal goes to Team Nova Scotia, winners of a dramatic 4-3 game over Saskatchewan. Isabelle Ladouceur and her foursome from the Lakeshore Curling Club in Lower Sackville take the gold medal and the national champion banner home. Runner-up, Skylar Ackerman's rink from the Moose Jaw Ford Curling Club in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. As they continue to get set for the closing ceremonies, we'd like to make mention at this time of the event committee. Chairs Sue Lankich-Lister, who has done yeoman's work all weekend. Roger McNabb, Heather Curling Club President and Facilities Coordinator. Helen Radford, who you heard earlier in this broadcast from Curling Canada. The chief ice maker for the Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships was Chris Tapley, assisted by Vernon Lister. The volunteer coordinators, Carol Ann Bartlett and Edie Brewer. IT coordinators, Roland Baker and Adam Kohler. Barb Sheen was the team liaison for the championships. Dave Welch, we thank him immensely. He was the media liaison and security person. Brad Henderson was the social media coordinator. Joan Christie handled statistics. The timer coordinators were Michael Fitzgerald and Muriel Jarvis. Ceremonies and protocol run by Caroline Davies and Darlene Smith-Ferguson. Alana McLeod handled finance. The W.C. O'Neill arena manager is Tim Sharkey. The resort liaison with the Algonquin, Denise Bradbury. And of course, once again, our camera person, Matthew Brown. Thank you very much, Matthew. And again to all the Bell Line volunteers, Leah Thompson, Steve Thompson, Charlie Sullivan Jr., Les Harrison, and my colleague here, Keith Rains.
I'm back.
We're happy to have you back. Once again, I'm Sean Thompson. The Piper is ready when everyone else is. They're just assembling everybody as we get ready for the closing ceremonies. We might want to have the door open for this.
Yes.
Regardless of how cold the rink is.
And one more time, I guess we would, you thanked all the committee people. I'd like to thank the sponsors, Town of St. Andrews, the Kiwanis Club of St. Andrews, the Heather Curling Club, the Charlotte Coastal Region, the Algonquin Resort Hotel, the Government of New Brunswick, Station on King Eatery, Jet Ice, Huntsman Marine Science Center, Curling Canada, and Friends Kruger and the Dunn Foundation. Thank you, sponsors.
They're still getting all the protocol ready. We're seeing people come into position. I see curlers lined up at both arena entrances, both ends of the ice. Yes, right under where it says fire exit back there. The ceremony will get underway very shortly. We have 6 sets of medals to hand out. Gold, silver, and bronze in the boys and girls competition. I'll probably say this once more before we end the broadcast, but we'd like to thank you, the viewers, who have been some of you have been faithfully watching this Bell Line TV 1 stream all week. Some of you may have just joined us for the final today. Regardless, we thank you for your support around Atlantic Canada, around the nation, and indeed around the world, wherever curling fans are.
Well, and that's a great thing with webcasting now. I've been doing it a few years with Bell. We've been hosting national basketball championships, conference championships, and to have friends and family being able to watch, if they're away on vacation down in Florida, watching a niece or nephew play, We had friends in Paris tweeting us, watching the game on their decks in BC. And here's that sound we wanted.
Yep.
So it's just great what can be done nowadays with webcasting and being able to bring you these events if you're not, if you can't make it. So a lot of the grandparents I know were really happy. And here comes, we'll let you watch the show.
Of course, in St. Andrews, you have to have a piper leading the dignitaries onto the ice. We're doing our best to hear here. The mixed doubles representatives. An exhibition tournament held with those teams who did not make the championship pool. Karen Ludwig, MP for New Brunswick Southwest. Ontario's second straight podium appearance. They won gold last year. Alberta team bronze medalists on the girls' side. Local MLA and cabinet minister presenting the silver medalists their award. Mixed doubles first. They mix the teams from among those in the championship pool. That's why you see a Prince Edward Islander and a British Columbian sharing the silver in that event. Coached by a Newfoundlander. Team Alberta, a fine effort, not quite enough on the night tonight. They provided us with some fantastic curling this week. Second piece of hardware for Chantel Hogue, the Saskatchewan second. She was given the Fair Play Award, 4 seconds as selected by the umpires. Nova Scotia team actually goes out of the Tester curling park. About an hour outside the core of Halifax. CCA Curling Canada Governor. Prairie pairing coached by an Islander winning the mixed doubles golds. Fine effort from the Nova Scotia men from Chester. To the girls, the Nova Scotia Junior girls won the Canadian Championships. Caitlin Jones, Kristen Clark, Carly Burgess, and Lindsay Burgess went and won the Worlds too. Perhaps one of these Nova Scotia champions will be the next team to do that. There's a Mountie at the ready for a trophy presentation momentarily. the Curling Canada Championship banners being presented to the winning teams from Nova Scotia on the men's side and the ladies. Our Mountie presenting the championship trophy first to the victorious Nova Scotian men. Graham Weagle, Owen Purcell, Jeffrey Meager, Scott Weagle, and Coach Anthony Purcell from the Chester Curling Club. Now to the women's champions, the Nova Scotia girls from the Lakeshore Curling Club in Lower Sackville. Soak it up, girls. Isabelle Ladouceur, Emily Prou, Kate Callahan, Michaela Harnish, Ellen Else, and Brian Raffuse will forever be able to append Canadian champions to their names. John Ames, Minister and member of the Legislative Assembly for Charlotte-Campobello. .156 volunteers strong ascended on St. Andrews for this event. John Ames, Brunswick Cabinet Minister, MLA for Charlotte-Campobello. Karen Ludwig, Member of Parliament for New Brunswick Southwest. Mount St. Andrews. Sue Lister, chair of the host committee, speaking after the Curling Canada governor. Sue Lister, chair of the host committee. Presentation to the host committee, Curling Canada. As the piper leads the dignitaries off the ice, I'd like to make mention there are probably about 300 fans at the W.C. O'Neill Arena complex tonight, but they've sounded like 3,000. A beautiful facility here in St. Andrews. I hope we're able to make a return trip. It's all wrapped up but the photographs. And Keith, I dare say it's been a fantastic championship. It's been a pleasure working with you again.
Oh, and it has. I know there's been a lot of memories that has been made here this week, and a lot of friendships that I think will go on. And one of the great things, as they talked about with the mixed curling and whatnot, the great thing with that is they had kids playing with different players from across the country, and those are bonds, and those players will see each other again, I know, down the road in other events and other championships, and they can say they first met in St. Andrews, New Brunswick by the Sea. So tremendous job, Sean, and on behalf of the host committee, a great job that they've done here, and they should be very proud of what they have accomplished.
I second that, and you may be hearing names, some who didn't make the championship pool. Dawson Ballard out of British Columbia, the Royal City Club. Jerome Adam, 2 and out in the championship pool, but a strong showing for his team from the Belvedere Club in Val-d'Or, Quebec. Our bronze medalists, our runners-up, and of course, our pair of champions from Nova Scotia. On behalf of everyone with Bell Line TV1, we'd like to thank the curlers and the coaches for fantastic entertainment, the host committee for their accommodation, and the entire team behind the scenes, on the ice, who made this tournament happen. Now, on behalf of our cameraman, Matthew Brown, Keith Rains, my co-commentator, and the rest of our Bell Line TV1 crew all week here at the W.C. O'Neill Complex in St. Andrews by the Sea, I'm Sean Thompson. Nova Scotia has done the double, boys and girls gold medalists at the 2018 Canadian Under-18 Curling Championships. Have a good evening, and we'll see you down the road.